Good morning. I have to say, this is the service that I was a little bit nervous about because there are so many of you, many of which I know. But for those of you who don't know me, I have a long history here at Holy Cross. You'll see in the picture on the screen in just a moment, it began with my baptism in 1978, right there in that corner. The baby next to me is my twin brother, and if you're wondering who's who, I am the cute one. I later was confirmed here in 1995 as a junior in high school. Normally here at Holy Cross, you're confirmed as a freshman, but at that time I needed some space to decide my path with God. So when my middle sister was beginning her confirmation classes here, I joined her, and together we were confirmed. Now I have a son in confirmation, and so I'm remembering what that time was like for me and allowing him to find his way, and I have to say I am truly grateful that he hasn't fought me on it and given me a taste of my own medicine. I'm married to my husband, Paul, for 15 years, and we have two kids, Will, who's 13, and my daughter, Zoe, who's 11. And I am truly grateful for a young lady by the name of Kate Adamovich, who's now in 5th grade, who brought us back to Holy Cross by inviting Zoe to the neighborhood block party when they were about 5 years old. I also want to thank Pastor Meredith for the invitation to share with you my story of how God has been calling throughout my career. And I hope as we talk about work, those who are retired can reflect back on their careers and help others mentor others who are going through their careers as they continue on. So I am about to talk about work, and I know we spend most of our weekends trying to get away from work and even count down starting tomorrow morning of when our work week's going to end, but I hope you leave here with a different perspective on what you do for work. My career began in the television news industry at age 16, and by 23 I was a television news director for a local TV station. At that time, I had my plan for how my career was to progress and what that would look like in pay, schedule, and prestige within the company. I was behind the scenes calling the shots of a live newscast, working with networks and talents from all over, meeting celebrities, and was up to date on all that was occurring in the world around me. Oh, I knew it all at 23, and I was on top of my game. But as time went on, I ran into roadblocks that were stopping me from my plan. I began to struggle with the why for this career, especially after the birth of my daughter. Now I'm a mother of 2 little ones, and I'm having to make huge sacrifices for holding on to a career that wasn't even fulfilling me anymore and trying to be the best mom I could be. Keep in mind, my workday started at around 3 a.m., and I would be home around noon to care for my little ones until my husband got home at dinner time. There was no pressure at all to keep it together. I also thought in my plan, my babies were going to sleep at the same time every day for a nap for 2 hours so I could nap, and I don't think that happened ever once. Also, I don't think my husband ever saw me out of my jammies for the first 10 years of our marriage. So I began to seek guidance from family, friends, and my church to help me figure out what I should do. And I would pray each and every morning, driving into work, asking God to get me through today, and is this it? I was too afraid to make any big moves for myself that would sacrifice for me being able to provide for my family. I was all talk about making the big move, but no action. As time went by, and my prayers not being answered in my timeline, I had to make peace with the career that I had chosen. I'm not happy, I don't have much joy, but I've prayed, and I guess this is where I'm supposed to be, or so I thought. One day I was at my desk and I received a call from a former colleague offering a position as an office administrator to come work for her. I was completely caught off guard, and I had no words, speechless. And if you know me, that's not me. This career path was not my plan. This is not what I was praying for. I'm a television news director. I'm not an office administrator. What am I supposed to do about this? But I had this feeling, a feeling that God was basically knocking me upside my head saying, here's what I prepared you for. Here's your chance to do my work. I'm answering your prayer. So I put my notice in and took that leap of faith, completely terrified, not only for taking on a new career, but for telling my family, friends, former coworkers, and new ones that I was following an answer to a prayer, which at times was very awkward to do. Fast forward 5 years and I've thrived in my new career. It wasn't all rainbows with a pot of gold at the end. There were adjustments to my family routine, which I'm truly grateful for my husband for supporting me. A completely new industry to learn, and a loss for the passion of creating television that I had loved so much. What I have learned is that I have a lot of transferable skills and new talents that I wasn't able to tap into before. As I progressed in my new role, I kept having this inner feeling of there's something more. What's missing that I'm still not fulfilled? As a TV news director, I was behind the scenes, but in this new role, I wanted to improve my public speaking and be out in front. But there's something you need to know about me. I deal with anxiety each and every day of my life. So putting myself out in front of people wasn't really going to help me with that, and maybe even make it worse. But I had a gut feeling I needed to move forward. So with the help of my teammates and family, I grabbed every opportunity that came my way. This past fall, I was asked to be on a panel and awards conference for about 500 of my peers and colleagues from across the country. The purpose of this panel was to share why I do what I do and how I thought our team had become successful. I spent time working on my presentation. I was in rehearsals with the panel for weeks, and the night before, I was a nervous wreck. The last thing I wanted to have happen is have a panic attack on stage. Like Moses, I was thinking, why me? I'm not as eloquent as the others on this panel. Well, the time came for me to walk out on that stage, and as I walked out there, I had no nerves nor anxiety. I was truly able to be me and able to engage with my colleagues on a level I have never experienced before. It was a truly freeing moment. Afterwards, I felt like I was able to inspire, even help others, and letting them know the value in the work they do each and every day. It was an amazing accomplishment, taking that leap of faith and putting myself out there. But that feeling was about to intensify to a level I can barely describe. Later that day, I was in a training session when a lady had asked to speak with me in private. I said sure, but I braced myself as we walked out into the hallway because, of course, I had said something to offend her. She had turned to me and said, "I know you are a godly person, and I want you to know that God was speaking to me while you were on stage. He said her work isn't done yet, and there are bigger things to come." Tears rolled down my face, and I hugged this stranger, and that was the last time we spoke. I spent the rest of the afternoon trying to process all that had happened. What do I do with this feeling? How do I respond to this woman and what she said to me? And who do I tell? Like Moses said, "But suppose they do not believe me or listen to me." That is what I was up against. I have not been shy about telling my story to others, as you can see. And I have seen all the looks of, okay, oh, sure. And I'm so happy with you with that blank stare as they turn away. Hasn't stopped me one bit. I now have a confidence in myself that I have never had before as a Christian. I am telling you that God has been speaking to me at work in many ways, and literally with a phone call. He's using others to let me know I'm doing His work and to continue on. Since then, doors have opened in so many ways. I've been asked to speak to our leaders in the company as to where I see our future. I mentor others and have been working behind the scenes on projects that I could only have dreamed of being a part of. I'm also sharing my story in front of all of you, which was not on my bucket list. I feel such joy knowing that I have a gift from God and I have a place to go each and every day to let it shine. That's not to say I don't have struggles and have to overcome obstacles. I carry an even bigger responsibility of knowing I have gifts and I must use them for a greater purpose. My revised plan has God right alongside me. I have become closer to His Word and love more than ever before. My sister gave me a daily devotional for Christmas, and I can't say it was my favorite gift to get at Christmas, but I can say, as I started to flip the pages each day, I was amazed at how much guidance God has for us to work. That feeling of there's something more has not gone away from me, and I don't think it ever will, because I've come to realize God's work is never done, so therefore my work is never done. My ask of all of you is don't turn off God's word when you are at work. We spend way too much of our time in our workplaces, in our careers, to shortchange ourselves of the gifts He has for us. Know whatever you do, you have a purpose in life. God created you with gifts and talents that will allow you to shine, and He prepared you to use them. When opportunities arise, grab them. Share with others. Take that leap of faith. You won't have all the answers. You won't have a plan laid out in front of you. You will have roadblocks. You need to keep your heart open. God is calling. Thank you.